Michael Rischitelli. Is that said right or not?
That's about right, yeah.
That's about right.
Yeah, you nailed it. Well done.
James from Mortgage Choice, Miami, Burleigh and Palm Beach. Welcome to On the Couch.
Beautiful. Thanks.
Usually I'd be sitting with you, but we've got to maintain a 1.5.
Yep. You're doing a good job so far.
We're doing the right job.
Yeah.
So you're with Lacey West.
Yes.
Real estate agent in Burleigh Heads.
Yes.
Have you seen what we do on the couch? Have you seen the other interviews we've done?
Oh, just briefly, yes. I've seen some interviews, which I'm looking forward to it. So thanks for having me.
No, welcome. So look, we'll start the list of the questions we start with, right? What was your very first car?
My very first car. Well, being from Melbourne, I'm originally from Melbourne, boys. So we don't mind our cars back in Melbourne. My brother had a Holden Commodore, would you believe? So
yeah.
How ironic. It was green, so I named it the Hulk. So he gave that to me. Actually, I bought it off him. So it was about a 1994 Holden VR, I think it was. So I was thought I was king of the castle, driving around as soon as I wanted to get my license, got the car, and.
So where in Vic were you from?
I'm from Melbourne, a place called St Albans, which
Yep.
is the western suburbs of Melbourne.
Yep.
And I grew up there all my life, and it was pretty close to school that I went to, walked to school. It was a pretty good area.
And then when did you get up here to Queensland?
I moved here when I was 17. I finished school.
Yep.
And I was lucky enough to get picked up playing footy, Aussie rules, and then moved to Queensland when I was 17.
So you've been up in this perfect climate.
I've been up here, yes, for a long time, almost half my life. So it's I always wanted to play football. That was my dream, AFL. So I was did all the work, since I was 10, playing junior footy and.
Is it the VFL?
So that's the VFL, yes, correct. Before you can obviously play AFL, but one below that it's called TAC Cups, TAC Cup competition, which is when you're 15 or 16, sort of making the state sides and whatnot, representative sides, and once you make those the sides, my side was it was called Western Jets. It was a Western regional area. And then if you're lucky enough to get picked up and scouts can come and have a look, and if they feel like you're a good fit for AFL, they give you an opportunity. And my opportunity came when I was 17, so didn't really think that I was going to get picked up at all. I had my school social the night before the draft. I didn't watch the draft at all because I only played about 6 or 8 games that year. Had some injuries, and I was lucky enough to get picked up actually the next morning, so I wasn't even watching the draft. I was actually sleeping. So that's a story for you there. I wasn't even. I had no issues as far as wanting to watch the AFL draft because I'd know that I wasn't going to get picked up. But
you got picked.
So I got picked up on the last pick for the Lions, which was which is a dream come true. I worked so hard for everything. That's what I wanted to achieve. Lucky enough to be able to get that opportunity. And I made the most of it as much as I could, and that was for about 16 years.
So where were you based? You were based.
So I was in. So finishing school, had about 2 weeks off school. So finished all my studies, moved to Brisbane, stayed with one of the players for a few weeks, Blake Carosella, and then I slowly moved my way into a host family. And they lived in Carindale, so I was with them, and so I still keep in contact with them. Beautiful family. I was very lucky to be able to have a family like them, the Reid family, in Brisbane, and I obviously moved after moving out with them, moved in with some of the boys, and sort of got my career going after that. So and as they say,
down to the Gold Coast.
Then I was there for about 7 years, and then made the move to the Gold Coast, and then I played for the Gold Coast for about 8-9 years.
So you're there at the big North.
From the very first start. So it was 2011.
Yeah.
So I made the move at the end of 2010 and started the journey here, which I've loved it. It's been really nice on the coast.
So who's your favourite sporting team? That's a hard one. 'Cause
Well, I used to.
they're gonna be
Yeah, it's a hard one.
Victoria,
Well, I used to barrack for Essendon when I was younger. So all my family used to barrack for the Bombers. Being in Melbourne, that was all the family went for them.
My wife's family are all big Essendon.
There you go. So very.
She goes to Hawks, but the rest of them are all Essendon.
Well, it's a bit touchy there. The Hawks, they've got a bit of history. Those two sides.
I've got a sorry brother-in-law who's St Kilda, but I mean we just.
Oh, you'll get by. Yeah,
You'll
you
get
get
by.
by, don't you? It's the Lions are really good. They're very. That's where I started. For me personally. So I've got a soft spot for the Lions as far as how it all started and living in the moment as far as my dream come true. Seeing all the superstars that you walk in your first day, your Michael Vosses and your Jonathan Browns and your Nigel Lappins and Simon Blackson, just the list goes on and on. So for me that was a very surreal moment, and then which I was able to sort of share my knowledge to the Gold Coast Suns when I moved, which was a plus.
When they first started.
When they first started, yeah, which was so obviously some tough times, but they'll I'm sure they'll be able to get through. Being down the bottom, which I know they want to be up the top.
Yeah, I think their belief and their strength, they'll get there in the end. So.
Yeah, they will. They will. All the hard work that they'll do. History says the harder you work, the luckier you get. So
where's your best, most favourite holiday destination? Because I know you've had a few over the years.
Yeah, I've been to a few places which been pretty lucky, but also I think it's important in the industry that I was in to get away. Being in AFL, it's very.
It's non-stop, isn't it? Training,
it's non-stop. It's mentally can take a little bit out of you. It's a long season. But one of my favourites when I used to take the family was Fiji. So I used to love going to Fiji. We stayed at a resort. It was Tokariki. So we went there for a couple of years in a row, which was one of the best holidays I've been to as far as just the people there are very nice.
They love the kids too.
Love the kids. It's a bit isolated. It's not on the mainland. It's away from everything. It's a bit quiet, and you just feel like you sort of got your own island.
So what? You got kids?
I've got 2 kids. Yes, I've got 2 kids. I've got a 6-year-old boy and a 4-year-old girl. So it's going to be.
Past the nappy phase, which is just great.
Yeah, it was obviously a bit of a challenge, like most when you have young ones. But no, they're at a really really good age now where you can sort of you can sort of relate to what they're feeling and what they're thinking, but also you can sort of communicate with them now. You can bribe them now, which is even better. So there's it's every day is a blessing, which is really lucky to have healthy kids. They're beautiful. So it's a nice part.
What was your biggest? What's been your biggest business achievement? You're now in real estate. So
Yep.
When did you join Lacey West?
So I've just literally started about a couple of months in, as we speak, about 6 weeks.
6 weeks in. So you're now growing your client base. You're growing your reputation. You're building all that side.
Yeah. So absolutely. Just starting, like anything that you decide to build and start, you've got to sort of do the groundwork first, making sure that's a sturdy foundation. So for the most part, well, I think I've been on the coast for nearly 10 years now. So I've sort of watched the area, grow and keep growing. There's been a lot of people that wanting to come to Burleigh. Over my time, I've seen the area itself, really really grow. It's a beautiful area for families as well. We're close to everything. We've got all these beautiful shops and the beaches and. We've got everything here that we need. We don't really need to go anywhere.
You don't, do you? Like if you live in this area, you don't have to go too far.
No, you don't.
You don't. Adjoining suburbs, you've got your Palm Beaches, you've got your Miami. You don't have to go too far.
No, and things aren't that too far at all. You got your pack fair shops. It's 10 minutes away, 15 minutes, and you got Robina. You got the airport. It's 15 as well.
Back and see your family in 2 hours.
So you can, so I can see all my family still back in Melbourne, which is very handy, and that's probably one of the reasons why I wanted to stay.
So where did you buy your very very first house?
Well, being in Brizzy, I bought my first house in Brisbane, in Cannon Hill, and I still got it to this day. And it's and that to itself, Brisbane's actually got I go back at times. I don't go back all the time because, as we said, we just spoke about we don't need to leave this area.
Yeah, it's an hour up the road.
Hour up the road. So every time I go back, there's definitely things that are changing, especially along the Wynnum Road. So I'm sort of tucked away in Cannon Hill off Junction Road, which has been a nice little spot.
Yeah. And that's rented now? Or?
Rented, yeah, all good. Everything's been especially with this COVID period, things have been taken care of. So
it's kind of for you coming into a change in your career at this time, such a tough and interesting and different, unheard of time we've all been in.
Yes.
Like
yes.
You probably came in with, we're going to do open homes, you're going to be meeting the buyers, you're going to be doing all this, and then within a few weeks, whoosh, the cost came down and you couldn't do it anymore.
No, you can't. I suppose the thing that sort of wanted to relate with real estate is definitely the connection that you make with people. It's obviously being local as well. You're seeing a lot of face to face, so that sort of got taken away. But what these days with the phones, it's amazing what the phones and internet, which has definitely been helping. So although it's not the same, but it's definitely helping, and it's still keeping everything going, which has been fantastic.
So what's your biggest tip right now for, let's go a seller first, right?
Yep.
So what's our biggest tip at the moment we can give for a seller?
I think that for a seller at the moment, you've just got to be really, really positive about the situation that you're in. Like most things, if there is a drop in the market, and if you're looking to buy back into the market, well, it's going to be sort of the same amount. So you take it, if it's dropped 10%, well, you're going to be buying back into the market that's dropped 10%.
Buying and selling in the same market.
So you're sort of buying and selling in the same market. So I think when people think the market's down a bit or whatnot, you got to sort of look at it as, well, if you're going to sell, you're going to be buying back into the same market, which then again the property that you're looking at is dropped as well. So I think being positive as well, that really helps.
Yeah, and I suppose it's the standard things of getting their house right. Yeah, they've got to
the little things that you need to do.
Nice as they can.
Yeah, and amazing what paint can do. And just the new cushions and new sheets, or things that can.
They don't have to spend money then.
They don't have to spend money, to really get a wow effect as well. But
video, can they do video?
So you can also do video. So whether it's an agent, that you can call the agent and go to the house itself, or through the website. So there's lots of things that is still operating and still can do.
So can they do tour? Can they do a
we
whole
can
tour
tour.
of the house?
You can do a whole tour if you'd like. So for instance, if I'm selling a house, you're the buyer. You can call me. I'll go through the home with you, show you everything. The bedrooms, bathrooms, kitchens, whatnot. And you can also, we can still go and do inspections, but obviously we've got to book in and making appointments with that as well. So we're still being able to do what we can really with the situation. So there's always ways around that.
But Michael, you've said to us today that there's still inquiry going on. There's still people looking, and there's still people looking to sell. So that's.
There is,
that's all positive stuff.
I think as a nation, we're very into knowing what the property market's doing.
We are.
We're very big in that. We're growing quite considerably with knowledge as well. So for the most part, people are aware of the situation that we're in, and just want to do the best for their family at this particular time. But like I said earlier, it's the Burleigh's a good spot with holding value and whatnot. So
I don't think I ever knew that many people go walking in Burleigh. Since this lockdown began, I've never seen so many people 1.5 metres walking from each other up and down the Esplanade.
It's pretty crazy, isn't it? It's everyone loves getting outdoors, and this is everyone's backyard. So everyone wants to make the most of it, and especially now, it's funny when things get taken away from you, how much you really, really miss it.
Yeah.
And like we all, you just want to be able to go out and see family and friends and whatnot. But hopefully the restrictions will ease off. But for the most part, we make sure everyone's really, really healthy and it's safe for everyone.
So how are you finding? Our other thing we'd actually probably ask you is, what's your biggest tip for a buyer at the moment?
Well, for a buy, you've got to really weigh up whether you wanting to, buy back in the same market, or even an opportunity as well to buy in an area that maybe once you wouldn't be able to afford, but
they might find one that they can.
They might find one in an area that they've liked, in the past couple of years, because we've seen so much growth, and maybe it's for that particular house it's stagnated, and they might be able to
potentially get a better deal.
Might be able to get a better deal. So I think in that way you look at it in a positive way again.
They probably shouldn't. I suppose buyers shouldn't be afraid to buy in the current market. Sometimes they might find they're going to get a better deal than they would have when they've got so many people being as competition. If you have an open home and you've got 50 people in there,
well, exactly,
you have to make a booking.
Yes,
it's going to be harder to get as many people through.
Well, you're right. So the competition's obviously died off a little bit, but there's still people that are wanting to buy. So
and people that want to sell. So
and want to sell. So you've got to understand your own reasons for wanting to buy, but for the most part, it's a great area. It's shown, especially around here, that the values are going to hold for quite a long time, and keep growing.
We've got stuff happening here, I suppose, in this next 12 months. We've got the trams coming.
Yes,
so
yes.
That, from my understanding, at the end of this year, they'll commence construction at the beginning of next.
Yes, which is going to be great for us. Great for the area, great for the coast. I think everybody wants it. A lot more
jobs,
people now.
Building.
Good for jobs, good for the environment. I think people will always wanting to, get out of the cars, and as you touched on before, with walking or bike riding or whatnot. So this is just another avenue that we can just use as public transport to do better for for the environment, for the area.
And I think it was going to be a tour of 3-year completion. So then you'll be able to get on a tram here in Burleigh and go all the way. All the way. You can go literally all the way to Brisbane if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
The other interesting thing that came up, because a lot of people have been worried about the tram changing Burleigh and things like that, but from the stuff we've managed to sort of find out, like for example, differences are going to be where the tracks come in.
Mm-hmm.
The tracks are going to come in where the old petrol station is, which is just boarded up.
Yep.
Where the tracks come in there, they're actually going to make them grass.
Yeah, okay, so that'd be nice.
It'll be a different feel.
Yeah,
It'll
absolutely.
give Burleigh its own character.
Well, that's the thing, as you mentioned, you definitely got to have the character. As much as you can sort of keep Burleigh as is, you definitely want to build the character of the area, especially for the people that have been here for a very, very long time. There's going to be some change, but you don't want it to be, too much, to change the identity of the place. So, which is great news. It's going to create jobs.
Well, so, how do you feel about the future? That's the question we usually ask on the couch. How do you feel about the future? Where are we right now?
You got to be optimistic. You got to be positive. It's we're in a world that's we're gonna get challenged, but at the same time it's it's opportunities. It's you got to be positive about things. We touched on before off camera about our parents and what they went through as far as going through wars and everything like that. So I think if you can sort of relate to going back, put things in perspective.
We've done bloody well here, like in Australia. We've done really well with the current climate and the current crisis that's on. But you can see it thawing, can't you? You can see it coming out the other side. You're starting to see, like behind the camera, we can see there's activity, there's people, there's cars, there's things starting to wake up again.
Well, people wanting to, they want to get out, they want to, get going.
There's going to be some pent-up demand, I think, too.
There will be, and I think people will, I've spoken to a couple of guys at the office, and one of the things I think they're going to be is definitely people going to try and make up for lost time, whether that's, buying up big or whatever it is, but I think because of all these people have been eating up big, going out, so there's definitely going to be, making up for lost time, definitely.
Who would have thought you'd miss so much better going to a bar and buy a beer?
Yeah, obviously it's
nothing.
I think you're going to do something by get into a pub right now, but I think it's going to be a nice time when everyone can get back to a bit of normality.
So let's hope we'll get through this next period and off we go.
Off we go, then everyone can just get back on with their life.
Well, as you build it, like you're a very genuine person to speak to, and I think your sellers and your buyers are going to see that as well. and I think your connections and growing all of that network around you is going to help you grow your business. So we wish you all the luck with it.
No worries, thanks for having me. It's been great. Awesome.
I won't shake your hand, I'll give you an elbow.
Yeah, there you go, mate. There you go. Beautiful. Thanks for having me.
Thank you
awesome.
very much.
No worries. Beautiful.
Cheers.